I'm a cripple, got too many rooms.
Vic,
I got shooters in the field, they running zones.
You know.
When I switch, make some shake for me,
Jay.
stop playing. On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jacob, also known as Pick Management, back here with my guy Cam for a new episode of the NBA Betting Insiders. We're breaking down today's Friday best bet slate. As the regular season is winding down, these slates get trickier and trickier to bet, but Cam and I are going to give you guys our best bets so you guys can continue to cash. But before we dig into today's slate, I got to tell you guys about a couple of tools every bettor needs in their bettor's toolbox. First is the Juicero app. If you're looking to take the next step in your betting career and are looking to sell a subscription service, sell picks, that kind of thing, you need to check out Juicero. They automatically sync to your sports book to provide you insights and analytics into how you wager so you can become a better bettor. You can now sell your subscription service right through the app, or if you're looking to tail picks from bettors like myself, Cam, other guys like that, then you need to check out Juicero. You can follow the leaderboard and find some of your favorite bettors right on the Juicero app. I'm just $5 a week, so make sure you check that out. And then the Rhythm app, the link is below. It is going to take you from A to Z to learning how to build sports betting models. If you guys are looking to build successful betting models like our guy Mark, the wagering wizard from the NHL Betting Insiders, but don't even know where to start, then the Rhythm app is a place for you. Like I said, it takes you from A to Z of model building, and it's the only place that'll do it. So make sure you check out the Rhythm app. The link is below. But Cam, we are back here for a Friday Best Bets episode. It was a tough night last night. Crazy slate. Weird things happen, weird lines before the game, after the game, during the game, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and toss it over to you, check in, and let's dig right into today's slate.
Yeah, I think last night was a very interesting night, to say the least, especially with those smaller slates. As a bettor, you try to find your pockets. So I think when you talked about it yesterday with that Knicks money line, just trying to find a pocket and saying, hey, just do a full 2 units there, and then let's just move on to tomorrow when the slate's a little bigger. So I think that was definitely the lesson we learned a little bit last night for sure.
Well, yeah, that Knicks. Okay, so I'll say this. We talked about it before the show real quick, but the Knicks line, they opened as a 2.5-point dog, got up as high as like a minus 3-point favorite, closed as a plus 2.5-point dog again, and then blew out the Celtics. So I just don't understand what's going on with the Celtics, what that means for the Knicks really, and like how they're playing. Like if the Celtics blow out Charlotte tonight, what is the point of not beating the Knicks last night if you're going to just go destroy Charlotte? Wouldn't you rather take down the Knicks when that has playoff potential and is going to impact your season? So I don't really understand the thinking between like having everyone play and then not putting in full effort and getting smashed. So it's either that the coaching is, making some weird decisions, or there are some real flaws or maybe like some chinks in the armor of this Boston Celtics team that are kind of starting to show through as the season starts to wind down. So just wanted to touch on that beforehand, but we did cash on the Knicks money line. So we got the better of that. So what do you have for your first best bet for today?
Yeah, so we'll start, actually, since we're already talking about Boston, we'll start with Boston. I think they will cover that spread. I think some books might have it at at -7. Some might have it at -8. I think tonight is somewhat of a bounce back game. When you say bounce back against the Hornets, you don't have to do but so much to kind of, make up for what you did last night. I think, like we said, we're a week before the playoffs. They'll get a week off to mentally, kind of get everything in order. But I know Joe and Sam and the guys up there also understand how important it is for everybody to have the correct momentum, going into the playoffs as well. So I think they'll come back, bounce back and have a pretty decent game tonight and probably win comfortably between 12 and 18 points. I do expect Brandon Miller to have another big game. Just as a rookie, those rookies kind of itch at the end of the season to kind of just make sure they get those numbers up a little bit more as well.
What I just don't understand about this, so I was looking at this game and I wanted to take it, and it was just like what I was just touching on before. I don't know what to expect from this team. I don't know what their game plan is. I don't know if they're gonna play everybody the whole game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like for this one, I am waiting till closer to tip off. If the line goes up and I get the worst of it and it goes to 10 or something like that because everyone's confirmed in, I'll live with it. But pregame, after what I saw yesterday, I just couldn't jump on it.
Yeah, 100%.
I do like the team total over though, something like that. I'm going to be looking towards probably like a game total. The game total for this one I think is really low. I think it's only like 218. So I'd be looking towards an over here because I think the Hornets maybe. Something I've played a lot this year that has been cashing too is like a Hornets first half over because you can get it like a super low number here, like 45 sometimes, under 50, some crazy numbers. So I'll be looking for some stuff like that. But again, I really want to wait to see what happens lineup wise with this team. So
and that over 50 and a half cash the other night for the Hornets pretty easily, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean it does a lot. It's because they have good first halves and then they just fall off and just when they start blown out, it's like they just give up. So having that kind of season for Charlotte, I'd probably give up too. So
no,
yeah. What else do you have for today?
Yeah. So then we can kind of go over to I guess we'll start with the Phoenix Suns game. I like them to win and cover against the Kings. I think last night was kind of imperative to the slow starts that the Kings kind of get off to. I think tonight, similar how it was last night where it was Zion and Trey Murphy that kind of hopped on them. I think KD and D-Book do it tonight just on a different level. But I also don't think they'll kind of give up the lead. I think the Suns are kind of starting to feel the pressure, being down there in that play-in area just like the Kings. But the Kings are a little bit more comfortable in 6. Knowing that they have to win, I just think the Suns come out a little bit more desperate, and I think they'll come out on top. They haven't shown any reason so far in the last few matchups against the Kings why they wouldn't do it. So I think with them being motivated, and we haven't really had a big Durant game, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's due for a good 35 or 40 because I don't see them having a real defender that can guard him and D-Book tonight.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that this Suns team, taking on the Kings right now on a back-to-back, I think they're going to get the better of it. You know what I mean? Sorry, I was looking at the last time Phoenix played, coming off 2 days rest, and they just beat the Clippers pretty handedly at Clippers 124-108. And the loss that Sacramento took last night, honestly, losers of 4 out of the last 5, and not pretty losses either. So I like Phoenix. They need to keep winning. Heading into the end of the regular season. This is a team that is finally starting to gel. All the injuries, concerns throughout the whole season, they're finally looking like a real team. So I'll definitely be riding with you on that one.
100%. Just to look to keep going through the list, we can go to the Mike Conley ladder for 3-pointers tonight. So one thing that a friend and I do, we always look at milestones. So we know a lot of players in their heads it's not similar to the NFL where they have to score 1,800 points to get a $250,000 bonus, but all times it's just integrity, it's pride. And a lot of these guys want to break those records. So Mike Conley's 3-pointers away from 1,800. This has been on our radar for the last 3 games. Last game he made 5. So we had a ladder with him and Jamal Murray. So tonight we're just going to ladder Mike Conley by himself for 3, 4, and 5. You'll probably get 4 at plus 350 and then 5 at plus 550 as well. But tonight will probably be the night where he breaks that. Minnesota needs more offense. Karl Anthony Towns is questionable. He may be back tonight. With Cat coming back, it should open up the floor a little bit more and actually give Mike a couple more looks, especially off the pick and roll with him and Rudy as well.
Yeah, I saw Cat was coming back. I think I saw that yesterday. I'm pretty positive he's playing tonight, which is awesome. But I gotta say, that's what's so good about having Cam on here. Cam really, I had said this the other day, but he really is an NBA insider and knows NBA players and stuff. So he knows his stuff when it comes to records coming up and those little niche spots that you can really target to make some serious profit. And Mike Conley about to break a serious record. If he's close, they're probably just going to keep feeding him. And if he gets hot, they're just going to keep feeding it to him. So I think this is a perfect scenario for that. And if it doesn't hit today, I would say it's definitely going to hit the next one. So just something to keep in mind. If we don't cash on this one, definitely refire next time. But I think it happens today too.
100%. Moving on to Memphis against the Lakers today. As I was looking at the game, probably 10 minutes before we came on, all the lines locked. So more than likely, I saw that LeBron and AD were both. Usually when they're going to play, it may say questionable, But this time they both say day to day. Day to day means I don't know if it's going to be you or if it's going to be me, but one of us probably not playing against the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. So I feel with Gigi Jackson, a lot of these young G League guys, the main thing you want to make sure you do is impress the front office the last 2 games of the season, so they do remember in the offseason, hey, he did have that big game in crypto when they played against AD and that Lakers team that was basically formidable. He did have a solid 22 and 13. So a lot of these Grizzlies players will come out a little bit more motivated. Everybody is excited for the summer, but these guys know this may be their last opportunity being able to start to have these high level minutes on the NBA court for an NBA team. So I look for them to come out pretty motivated. I think the Lakers were rolling, but I now that everybody kind of knows that they'll be in a play-in or if they'll be in that top 6, everybody's kind of starting to just get that rest, so they'll be ready for next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, I totally. The Grizz are like another team like Charlotte that, in a game like this, I was looking at like Lakers team total over in this one. Then I saw I saw it go off the board. I didn't realize it had gone off the board for that long. So I thought it was just my book, reloading. Right. So I wasn't sure like what was going on because I didn't get a chance to check on an updated line. But that's another team that like you just said, these guys have been playing for contracts, playing for their future. We know, they haven't been the greatest team on earth, but they've made some games competitive. And this is like another first half team total over that I'd probably be looking at too for the Grizz. For the full game, I can't listen. When it comes to these giant spreads, I don't take favorites and I don't take dogs. Like I just cannot stomach touching these big giant lines like that. So I am going to stay away from that, but I would say take a look. If you are, maybe check my socials later. Maybe I'll have a play on the Memphis team total, but keep an eye out for that. Nothing official for me in this one, though.
Yeah, I'll probably definitely drop a prop. Scottie Pippen Jr. going back to his old team, the Lakers, where he didn't play that much, but he with the Sierra Canyon. He's from the area. Probably have some family there. He had a solid game last game, so I expect him to cover. Like we always say, Scotty's going to get those assists, so I know he'll definitely cover that 5.5 tonight. But yeah, that'll be later on. Just to finish up with the last 2, we'll go over to this Philadelphia game. I think Philadelphia definitely covers tonight. Orlando and Philly are kind of in similar boats when we kind of talk about where everybody kind of knows where they'll be at for the playoffs fully. But with Joel coming back, the Magic have already had a tough time with the Sixers throughout this season with Joel. Even without Joel, they had somewhat of a tough time. So I think tonight, Joel wants to get his points, but I think he wants to go sit down pretty quickly. So I expect him to get out to a pretty quick lead. And I expect Orlando, who's a young team similar to Minnesota and OKC, where night by night, sometimes you'll see something here or there where you'll be like, okay, yeah, they're young. They'll be here for 3 years, but we'll see. And I think tonight, Philly's experience and just their level of urgency, I think will kind of prevail.
Yeah, I feel like this Philly team has now that Embiid is back, has been itching for the chance to beat up on some teams. But I will say, this Philly team was just such a disappointment when Embiid went down, and I just can't get over that, and I just can't. I try to move past it and see how good they are as a complete team, but they are so susceptible to being bad without Embiid that I just can't put all my eggs in the Philly basket for the playoffs, and it's because they're so dependent on that and how bad they did look when he went down. So just something I wanted to say. I don't have a side play on this one. I do have a game total over. I did take the Orlando Philly over 212. I thought it was just crazy low. I get that Philly, has been playing better defense, but over is hitting 6 out of their last 8. Orlando, 4 out of their last 5. Over in 4 out of 5 out of the last 7 for Orlando on the road. So a lot of these, trends are pointing towards an over here. My Rhythm app model has this as a 111 to 107.9 victory for Philly. So it has it going over the total there too. And covering your line. So I really like the game total over here. I just think this is crazy low.
Yeah, 100%. I think Philly scores at least 115. Alone. I think they shoot so many threes sometimes that it's like, okay. But Joel gets so many free throws, and I tell people free throws are so imperative, especially when over and unders, which people know already. But especially early in the game when you stop the clock in the first quarter and both teams get 6 to 10 free throws, sometimes you'd be like, well, wow, why are we at 41-49 at the end of the first quarter? But the clock
Right.
is so many times and so many threes have gone up that possessions have gone so quickly that you don't even notice that the score continues to rise so quickly. So yeah, definitely think that over cashes pretty easily today.
Love it. That was all you have for today?
The last pick is Obi Toppin over.
Oh, right. Yep.
Obi actually doesn't have a history of just having great games against Cleveland. Usually solid. But in his last 5 games, he's had 23, 13, 15, 14, and 14. And the one thing about the 2 games that Obi did play against Cleveland this year was kind of before the whole Pacers play-in, Tyrese Halliburton All-Star thing. So they were still kind of figuring out what their identity is. Everybody kind of knows what their role is, and him continuing to run, baseline to baseline and maybe possibly getting us 2 threes. One in the first half, one in the second half. I don't foresee him not covering this tonight for sure. So over 8.5 will be my last play for today for Obi.
Awesome. I didn't look into this player prop, but it sounds like he's been on a roll, and he's always been, one of the better guys over there. So yeah, riding with you, of course, Cam. Player props really aren't my thing.
The rhythm model had it at 9.5 just to give you a little reaffirmation. So
you're getting the point. There you go. So I'll say player props have never been my thing in most sports. I'll occasionally have one, but it has to be something really sticking out to me. I just feel like I put so much effort into picking sides and totals and the other stuff that it's just too much to dig into player props, like underdog fantasy and prize picks and stuff. I've never been a player there. That's not been my thing. Okay. So that was your last one. So I have a couple more picks for today. So we're going to go back to this, the Knicks team. I'm taking the Knicks team total here over 110.5. I think it's just too low versus Brooklyn, regardless of the fact that the Knicks are on a back-to-back. I just think that they are far more talented, far more motivated. This Nets team, 0-5 ATS their last 5 versus New York, 0-5 straight up their last 5 versus New York, just 1-5 ATS their last 6 overall, 4-12 ATS on the last 16 on the road. And this Knicks team has been playing great, 4-1 the last 5, including against the spread. The overs hit in 9 out of their last 10, 5-0 ATS at home, 12-5 ATS the last 17 when playing at Brooklyn at home. I mean, just a ton of stats pointing in the direction of the Knicks here. I like the game total probably over 2. It's at 209, which I think is just way too low here. I get the Knicks are only 4-8 on the second night of a back-to-back, but they're 3-0 versus Brooklyn on the season, and I think they finished the season sweep of them here.
100%. Yeah, I definitely think they keep building off that momentum from last night. With OG back, OG just brings a whole nother dynamic. So with him playing, he brings a whole nother defensive mismatch most of the time. Not just necessarily offensively, just size-wise. So I definitely see the Knicks soaring past 110 and definitely winning and probably covering the night for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So the next one I have up is for the Cleveland Pacers game. So we'll go back to that one. This plays into your player prop because I'm playing towards an over. We're looking for points in this game. My rhythm model has this as a 116.5 for Indy to 115.3 for Cleveland. So it has this sailing over the total. I actually picked this play because it was I got one of the notifications that this was a top ranked play because of the value we're getting on this. These two teams have been I'll say, well, definitely the Pacers all season and Cleveland most of the season have been some of the higher scoring teams. And we've seen the Pacers continue that towards the end of the season. 4 of the last 5 have gone over, 7 out of the last 10 for Cleveland. Just these teams are, looking to score. 6 out of the last 7 at home for Cleveland have gone over, and 6 out of the last 9 between these two teams. So just a lot of historical stuff. Both of these guys, both these squads, will I think play a tough game tonight, and I like it to go over. So
100%. Yeah, definitely two teams that get up and down that get points up. That's been the story all year specifically for Indiana, so I don't see that changing tonight as well. And the later in the season, the most teams, the more lax the defense gets too. A lot of closeouts and a lot of meetings at the rim don't happen the last week and a half because people want to make it to April and May. Sure.
Yeah, I mean that's what when they talk about motivation, that's what they say falls off is the defense because everyone loves to score, nobody likes to. No one likes playing defense. Right. You know what I mean? People are looking for the stats that that get you the paycheck and not I guess defense if you're the best defensive player, but it's much harder to do that defensively than offensively. You know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah, next play up, I'm going to this Denver team total. I'm taking the Denver team total over 117.5 here versus the Spurs. Just because I like Denver just to keep smashing until the season's over. This team's rolling, they're healthy, no real injury concerns that I saw of. No one really is listed on their injury report. I mean, they're looking as a team that's going to play the full squad and just, I think, roll this Spurs team. So like I said, like I am staying away from these bigger totals because I feel like they're so much more difficult to hit as the season winds down. And I think the better way to attack a lot of these games is with team totals. So that's why I'm on the Denver team total over 117.5 here.
No, for sure. Deep team. The Bronze of the world, the Peyton Watsons of the world, they may get a lot of run tonight, but they love to score. Reggie Jackson loves to score. So a lot of those guys that come off the bench will continue to have the same scoring acumen as their starters as well. So I definitely see that happening.
So last one, and then I have a giant parlay to give, and then we'll get out of here. So I'm going to the New Orleans Golden State game. I know you touched on this earlier, but I'm all over the over in this one, 218. I did buy it down. It's at minus 150, so a little juicy, but I kind of felt like I needed it. My model has it going over 112.8 New Orleans, 114.5 Golden State. So it has a cover in there, but I felt like with the Pelicans on a back-to-back, it just kind of concerned me because sometimes they can just like fall off offensively on back-to-backs. While these two teams, offensively should be able to roll, there are a number of people on the injury report for the Pelicans. Larry Nance Jr. questionable today for personal. Obviously, Brandon Ingram's out. Zion injured last night. He's missed, so he's questionable for tonight too. So like that kind of puts me on a little hesitation. And then Golden State injury concerns too. Clay, Draymond, Peyton, all questionable for today. So that's why I was staying away from a side here. I just felt even with the injury concerns, 218 is just like a mighty low total here. So that's why I jumped on it.
Nah, love that play. And then, like I say, I'm always thinking of the sneaky guys. This is definitely a night for my guy BP, Brandon Przinski. But this is definitely a night where he probably goes over his 8.5 to 11.5 points for sure. He loves to score. So that feeds him straight into the total over anyway. So yeah, that's a great play for sure.
Okay, so last one, and we'll get you guys out of here. So I have, you guys hear me talk about it repeatedly. Good teams with stuff to play for against bad teams with nothing to play for. And, there's a whole bunch of teams that have giant spreads today that I'm not going to touch. But what I did do is I do have a parlay of a whole bunch of favorites, mainly home favorites. So I took Boston, Knicks, Clippers, Dallas, Minnesota, Denver, Miami, and Philly, all to win plus 234. Not the biggest payout for a 8-leg parlay, but I feel like all these teams want to win, are in good positions to win at home. And the couple of teams that aren't at home, I feel like are just so much far superior to who they're playing that is the only reason why I added a non-home team to the parlay, is because I felt like these teams on the road would still smash regardless. So yeah, don't usually see me give out too many parlays here, but towards the end of the season, you can usually cash on some of these, big favorites parlays. So yeah, that was last one. I thought was a fun one to put in there. But Cam, why don't we go ahead and recap our best bets, and we'll get them out of here.
Okay, now that's perfect. So we'll start with the Boston Celtics tonight, covering against the Charlotte Hornets, coming back and bouncing back from last night. Second, we'll go with the Phoenix Suns, covering the 5, coming out and playing strong against the Kings. Just showing a level of urgency just to make sure that they're ready and concise for the playoffs. Memphis Grizzlies to cover the plus 15 against the bruised up Lakers. Probably a night where they rest their guys getting ready for next Tuesday or Wednesday for the play-in. Philadelphia first half minus 4.5 over the Magic, and Obi Toppin to score over 8.5 points. And we're on the Mike Conley 3-point ladder. It's starting at over 2.5. Probably do 3, 4, and 5 for some plus money as well.
You would stop at 5?
Probably 6 is probably.
Okay.
I'll probably do 2 through 6. That's where
All
I
right.
probably. So
Cool.
when it comes,
And
yeah.
we did have a chat question. I'm going to throw it to you. Do you like Jalen Brunson over his points tonight?
JB,
28.5.
my biggest fear when it comes to these games, and last night he just did it because there was a couple of plays where, like, I think it was one play where Dante DiVincenzo was driving and he had 2 people at him on the rim and he pump faked and threw it back out to him for 3. So it was like he got like an extra 5 to 6 points last night, even though he went and sat down in the third. With it being a back-to-back night, I'll probably stay away from it. If I had to take him for anything, I'll probably take him to score if you want to just add him maybe for 20 points. But I think 28.5 is a little rich. Similar to the SGA the other night. That's the same exact line I got killed with, and he scored 26 on the head, so I'll probably stay away from it for tonight. Tibbs knows it's a back-to-back. He's dealt with it with D Rose and a lot of guards, just making sure that they're fully healthy and ready. Without Julius Randle, this is your number one option. So I think they'll play it smart tonight, especially if they're up.
Yeah, that would be my biggest concern here is the back-to-back, and them wanting to make sure people aren't getting gassed. But great stuff, Cam. I'll get you guys mine real quick, and we will get you out of here. I am on the Knicks team total over 110.5, Orlando Philly over 212, Indy Cleveland over 231, Denver team total over 117.5, Golden State New Orleans over 218, and a giant parlay Boston Knicks Clippers, Dallas Minnesota, Denver Miami, and Philly all to win pays plus 234. Cam, tell people where they can find you, your socials, all that stuff.
Yes, sir. Find me on Instagram at #1CamCarter, on Twitter at CamWriting_. You can also find me on Baller Alert, the only sports right over there. So any sports articles you see, that's me, and anything else kind of within the player management and event side as well, for sure. So reach out if you have any questions on any facets or any fronts, for sure.
Yeah, Cam is a great follow, great guy, one of the best guys around. Really glad to have him as part of the team. You guys can find me here daily on the, and of course, NBA Betting Insiders, NHL Betting Insiders, weekly on the MLS Insiders, and Betting the Pitch Europe. You can find me on Last Word on Sports, and make sure you guys check out the Juicer app, just $5 a week. The link is below if you're ready to take the next step in your betting career. And if you're looking to build successful betting models, you need to check out the Rhythm app. The link is below. Otherwise, that'll do it for us. Check me out across all socials at Pick Management. This has been the NBA Betting Insiders. We will see you later.
On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones. House dilemma, cribbo got too many rooms. I got shooters in the field, they running zones. When I switch, make some shake for me, stop playing. On stepping, I'm a rockstar and Ramones.